giving every child the love they deserve.
Yeah, we're joined by author Alexandra Omarosa, who is sharing her experience as a member of an autistic child, a family with an autistic child, and she's telling us how we can support those that we care about. Thank you so much for being with us, and you were persistent. You kept emailing, and I was like, we're going to get you on the show.
Thank you.
No, it's our pleasure.
I'm very excited. Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us what it was like to grow up with an autistic brother.
It was challenging.
Yeah.
As I said in my book, it's challenging. But I learned a lot. Like I learned he's nonverbal, and when I went to school with a lot of kids that were special needs, and I learned, I knew what it was like because I lived it at home, and I think it was good for me because I learned to respect him and kids like him from a young age.
You do. You talk a lot about respect in the book, and respecting not only him but other people as well, which is incredible.
Yeah.
So you wrote these, there's actually two right here, Growing Up with an Autistic Brother and Why is My Brother Autistic? Autism and How It Affects Kids. And I think this is so good because it's difficult enough for parents to get resources, but to tell it from the sibling's perspective, sometimes children with autism need a lot of attention. And what's that like for the more neurotypical child? So tell us a little bit about what you share in the book that can help others.
I share that, parents, like my parents gave him more attention than me, not that they favored.
Right.
He required.
He just needed more.
He needed more, and I knew that. So I was more. I was brought up to be independent from a very young age, and I knew that he needed more attention and more care than I did. And it's tough for siblings. Like at first, it was tough. Like I was like,
Wow, this is hard.
And he was nonverbal, so we have a wonderful relationship, but he was nonverbal, so we couldn't. Communicate like a regular siblings could.
Right.
So,
and now he's in a group home.
He's in a group home in Bristol. He's doing wonderful there.
Doing wonderful.
He's been there for 7 years.
Okay.
He's with kids like him. We see him once, twice a week.
Okay, terrific.
He plays sports. We go watch him play his sports.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, and he's doing wonderful.
And for your parents, it must, the caretakers, it's I don't want to say a burden, but there's extra added responsibilities with, taking care of someone with autism, especially nonverbal.
Yes, it was. And it was tough for them at home. They needed the help. I mean, he used to have bad tantrums. He wasn't toilet trained till he was, older.
Okay.
And he would wet the bed at night, which that consisted of, 10 loads of laundry every day for my mother.
Right.
So, and they really didn't have a life.
Like things you don't even think about like that.
Yeah. Yeah. They didn't, not that they didn't have a life, but they couldn't do a lot because.
Right. But they love him. Just as like any other, he's a wonderful human being.
And I love that you say here, because you do talk about, it's difficult when you're a young child to understand the way you understand now. But I love that you also say, right here on page 9, you're the first friend and the one person that will always understand them, the best of everyone in the whole world. Autism is not a disease. Don't try to cure them, just try to understand them. So in your life now, you've had a lot of understanding. Okay, so maybe not that he's trying to give you a hard time, but he's having a hard time.
Yeah. He's, I always knew that I was the one that would always be close to him, and he knows that, even though he's nonverbal. I mean, I could see it. He knows that.
Yeah, he just knows you're there for him.
But my parents, and then there's me, and I know that he knows that.
I love even the chapters, Big Sister, the obsessions, the never-ending tantrums, attempting to travel. I mean, these are things that we just don't think about with with an autistic child.
It was tough because he would wet the bed, so hotels, that was tough.
Oh, you don't even think about things you don't even think about.
Traveling was tough because he would like to wander, so if we went to a park or so we traveled for a while up until he couldn't be in a stroller, because when we had him in a stroller, we knew where he was.
Exactly. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
What do you hope? What's the hope of? What's your hope with these books?
I hope it helps a lot of families that are looking for help. In the adult chapter book, I write about how we got help for him. My parents really needed it.
Right.
And there's help out there, but you have to
navigate
you
the
have
system.
to fight for it and look for it. And
it's not
it doesn't
as easy to get as
just because your child has an autism diagnosis doesn't mean you have to fight.
You have to advocate for yourself.
Yes.
Which is pretty much just like everything else, right?
And just for all siblings to know, they're not alone. It's tough, but I find it to be a gift too.
Well, that's terrific for you, and
Yeah.
God bless you for thinking
Yeah.
that. That's amazing.
There's always
Yes.
that gift in the challenge,
Yes.
so thank you so much for
Yes.
showing this. And I think, you're right, people won't feel like they're alone, so you've got both books. That would be great to give, both of them for a family. And
Absolutely.
they're on Amazon?
Yep.
Alexandra
Both on Amazon.
Amoroso on Amazon.
So
Thank you so much for
the
being with us.
author's
Thank you,
name, and you'll
guys.
find
Thank
them
you very
both.
much.
It was a
Yeah.
pleasure to have you.
Thank you.